Ekale, Bauninko, Ebinko, Amene, Ahosu Agelo Bagan, above one, and Wafun, Egungun, Iure. We send you greetings for this evening. We are Ahosu Agelo Bagan of the monarchy of Ganlodo, which is a Kilombo monarchy, a maroon monarchy. And we are coming to you with a few quick and simple words about Sinsan Egungun or Ewure Egungun, which is venerating and praying to the ancestors. And it's something that a lot of people probably have not really thought about. It's a very important topic because what we like to tackle here at Kilombo Restoration and Healing and the Monarchy of Gunlodo is those issues that, due to our lack of understanding, even with the big rush of many of us coming into African traditions, we are still not getting it. And actually many times causing problems, whereas we are trying to, are thinking that we are providing solutions. So ancestor veneration, we know that the ancestors come before the deities. Well, many don't know that. So the ancestors come before the deities. The family is the first shrine. The family is an outward expression of the ancestors. So the ancestors and the family are directly, intricately connected through an intergenerational process. We are able to communicate with the deities because of ancestors having connection with those deities. And that's a brief summation, but there's a lot in that statement. So many are coming to the realization how important the ancestors are, but here is one of the problems that we're running into. Is the ancestor that you are venerating, that you are giving prayers and offering to, actually an ancestor? Is this actually an ancestor? And if so, what kind of ancestor? You know, should this be somebody that you're giving libations to? And we'll knock that out real quick. You know, somebody that lived real foul on earth, and you don't do the proper rituals to try to elevate that soul to a better place, you're inviting a corrupt and negating spirit. It doesn't matter if it's your ancestor. See, that's where emotionalism come in. People will say, you know, well, you know, it's my ancestor, so, you know, they wouldn't want to cause me harm. Well, they cause harm to family members and other people when they were on earth, you know. And if nothing has been done to elevate that, nothing will change. That's just like therapy. You know, whatever form of therapy a person gets, for whatever addiction they may have, or what a mental issue or whatever, they have not gone through a process to eradicate that disease, whatever it may be, then it's still there, you know, and 9 times out of 10 will crop up from time to time, and at the most inopportune times. So that you must keep in mind in relation to ancestors. You know, make sure that they're elevated. We had a person from Benin tell us, you know, we were talking about ancestors that were sold into captivity, like ours were, and yours, many of you that's watching this, and those that sold people into captivity. So this particular person, descended from one of the royal families in southern Benin, in the Bay-speaking area that many people call Dahomey. And they were heavily involved, his particular family was heavily involved in the captivity and sale of African people to Europeans. And he made a statement. He said it doesn't matter what his ancestors did, it's still his ancestors, and he's going to call them out in libation and prayer, just like somebody would call out on a good ancestor. And that is absolutely not Vodun. That is antithesis to spirit, and it is anti-African. So you wouldn't want to call on any ancestor that was part of corruption, especially corruption of African people. But let's go to the question, which is the primary focal point of this video. What if this person that you're venerating, that you're giving offerings to every day, you got shrines to, you're going to, to the shrine on your behalf, your family's behalf, to these people. What if that person has reincarnated? That means, obvious, and I know y'all with us on this, that person is not an ancestor and has reincarnated here on earth. Many of the people that are trying to engage themselves in various ancestor elevation type of ceremonies are absolutely confused by this concept. Well, they're not confused by the concept because many of them, 99% of them, do not know or sit down and think about the intricacies of the science of spirit. You've heard us talk about the science of spirit. And within the science of spirit, other cosmologies have their science. The ancestors have their own cosmologies. The deities have a cosmology, and then within that, each deity has a cosmology. So, knowing this cosmology, you will know the science of spirit. So, you have people that are elevating like national heroes, right, to the realm of wherever they're trying to elevate them to. But we found through deep divination over some time that some of these people, they had already reincarnated. So we won't name any of the particular national ancestors, but know for a fact that those national ancestors that are on the Ganlodo calendar are definitely in that ancestral realm, and they have decided to stay in that realm. If something happens where just, we could almost say something crazy happens and they decide, well, no, they're going to go against what they agreed on in the spirit realm, then we will have to remove them from being Tovodun, because that means they may be back on earth through their family line. So that's what we're talking about now. What if grandmother had come back in the grandchild? In Yoruba, we have names like Yetunde, Babatunde, and that is mother and father return, respectively. That means this particular child is probably reincarnation of the grandmother, great-grandmother, grandfather, great-grandfather, Katawakata, so on and so on. A strange thing that has happened amongst in Vodun and in Isheshe in Africa is that you will see a child, people will name their child Yetunde, for example. This is a female, reincarnation of the grandmother. But they're still going to the ancestor shrine, calling on the grandmother that this child is reincarnation of. This shows you, as we have talked about before, how we have devolved in our culture. A lot of what is being taught is not authentic, because of the forgetting process. And when you involve yourself in 300-400 years of corruption, of capturing Africans, human sacrifices of thousands, hundreds and thousands of people and whatnot, you tend to lose the original teachings and you get to focusing on the negativity. It's just like some people here in America, New Africans, when you try to teach them about a better way of life, and they'll tell you, well, this is all I know, because that's all they grew up around in the hood. This has to stop, and those of us that know better, we need to do and teach better. Yetunde should not be going to that shrine because the grandmother is her now. That soul is completely back here on earth to fulfill some kind of some kind of commission from a previous life or whatnot. There are various reasons that ancestors choose to reincarnate. So it's simple. You can ask the oracle, hey, is my uncle, my great uncle, whatever, is he in the other realm still, or is he here? So a lot of times people would think they're getting results from these entities that are not even in the realm where they're praying to them at. And what will happen a lot of times, not as often as it used to be, but sometimes other benevolent ancestors will step in and try to answer the prayers for them. Address the prayers or whatever they could do. This is problematic because that is draining on that particular ancestor, because you're not calling on them. That's just like when they intercept these prayers to Jesus and Allah and Yahweh and all the other foreign deities. They're getting tired of that. They're at this stage. We're in the age of Ugazi right now. And this is the most corrupt stage of the 4 ages of the world. And so with that, their energy is fizzing out also, so far as them doing stuff that they weren't necessarily called on to do, but they're trying to help you because they know you don't know any better. But in the case of those that are in the culture and they're calling on entities that are not there and that are actually here on earth, this can cause a problem in the spirit realm. Hence, we are always connected intercyclically with the spirit realm here on the mundane earth, on IE. There's how you have glitches in computers and stuff. There are all these glitches that are accumulating and causing us major problems in our family lives and in our relationships. So, one of the most profound concepts taught in Isheshe and Vodun is the concept of Suuru, S-U-U-R-U, which means patience. It says Suuru is the parent of character, and we know how important character, or Iwa, or in Yoruba, Jijo, and Fon, is in our tradition. We mention patience because you don't learn these concepts overnight, and a lot of the people that have been, that are out there teaching or call themselves teaching, they don't know these concepts. And that's unfortunate for many of you out there because your choices are slim to get real teachings, especially on when it comes to like direct, authentic Vodun. But have a little patience. Don't jump the gun and just join an Ile or house or whatever just because they have nice ceremonies. Do a lot of dancing and singing. We're at war. We're at major war. War on a level that we haven't seen and really not overstanding yet. We used to that physical war that the civil rights, the clubs upside the head type of thing. We're still in that war too, but we're in another level of war that only the Hun, the deities, the Kulita, Egungun, the ancestors, Aziza, forest spirits, and other spirits that assist the deities and whatnot, and culture. Those are the only things that can get us to victory in this war. We are in a perpetual state of war, a war that we have been engaged in for well over 6,000 years, starting with the external enemy, and now with the external and the internal enemy. So we wanted to lay those concepts out there to you to contemplate and start dialogue, as we do with many of the other things we bring up. We want you to be able to bring up this in study groups and in your family and build upon it. This is just a video giving you an outline of this concept. We can go much deeper into it, but we think you really get the gist of it. This is very important, to not be praying to a quote-unquote ancestor that is really not an ancestor. You know, it's not just that the prayer is not going anywhere, but it's causing confusion. And here's another concept that we learned this a long time ago that you must keep in mind in relation to this. You don't want to call anybody or be part of the lending of energy that is responsible for taking a person from the earth before their time. People say you don't go before your time. That is absolutely incorrect, and it does not line up with the Vodun concept of Handowa, which is destiny. Very complicated concept of destiny, not just your dictionary textbook concept. Destinies can be thwarted, and other humans can do things spiritually and mundanely to thwart someone's destiny. So we do not have that concept of person doesn't leave before their time. If you're sitting there and you're praying to an ancestor that is not an ancestor, but the person is here on earth, and you're calling their name, you're shooting that to that realm where you think they're at. That realm starts to pull on them. And if enough people are doing that, it'll take them out. We wonder, could this be the case with Malcolm X's grandson? Everybody's venerating Malcolm. Maybe he reincarnated in him. Some people may, say, maybe some of his lifestyle didn't line up with how Malcolm was previously. But it's hypothetically, let's just say, because the forgetting process is through the birth canal. When you come and that umbilical cord is cut, you forget your connection with your destiny. Look at how Malcolm was before he was Malcolm X. So he probably went through a forgetting process. Who was he in another lifetime if he was here in another lifetime? So look at what happened to young Malcolm, who died mysteriously a few years ago. Was he a reincarnation of Malcolm X? And was it that when these people were in African tradition around here or doing these elevation ceremonies, they were doing ceremonies without, checking, is he still in that other realm? Does he want to be there? Think about that. We have been Agelo Bagan, Ahosu Agelo Bagan, the monarchy of Ganlodo. We hope that you have a pleasant and wonderful solstice, which starts tomorrow at 11:28 a.m. Eastern Time. Offer black eyed peas to the ancestors, to Sakpata, Aholu, or in Yoruba as Babaluaye. Still a different deity, but very similar. Pray for elevation as the sun is now about to elevate. Pray for the elevation of your family, the elevation of the nation, the elevation of Marunich, the Kilombo, and the Kilombo paradigm. However that paradigm may manifest in your life and your families. Odigba.